there is a headline going around saying that Bella Ramsey, the star of The Last of Us Season 2, is the most hated actor in Hollywood. And I believe there is an organic groundswell of backlash against Bella Ramsey that started out with criticism for the show and quickly snowballed into just hate directed at her appearance. The underperformance of the second season, though, speaks for itself. The season 2 finale of The Last of Us had 3.7 million viewers, which is a 30% drop from the premiere of season 2 and a 55% drop from the finale of season 1, because Pedro Pascal isn't in it anymore. Joel is dead, and she is on the Ellie revenge arc, looking about 12 years old.
The average
not
viewership
really
is
selling
up.
it to anyone.
The average viewership per episode is up from 32 to 37.
From season 1?
Yes, from 32 to 37.
Okay.
But the like finale to finale, the numbers on those episodes are down.
How much of it do you think is hate watching?
I don't know. I mean, when I think of hate watching, I think of something that has to be like really culturally relevant to make people even think to do it. Right? So like people hate watched Velma season 1 because it was like getting all this news.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, she's gay and there's no dog. Like that was relevant. We hate watched the first season. I wanted to do bad stuff to myself every single time I watched an episode. It was the worst month of my life. But the point being is, like, season 2 came around, nobody cared. We reviewed the Rings of Power season 1. Season 2 came around, meh.
No one cared.
Like, we didn't care. So hate watching can only hold on for so long.
Right.
I don't know how much of that is hate watching now. So if the per episode average is up, that's something to be said for them.
Personally, I checked out after episode 3, but that's just me. And this headline just kind of seemed to pop up out of nowhere and get a lot of traction. Bella Ramsey is now the most hated actor in Hollywood. This now has 77 million views on X, and it got picked up by a bunch of disreputable outlets. Here are some of the theories in the headlines. How Bella Ramsey became the internet's most hated star and what it says about toxic fandom culture today. The young star's online vilification raises questions about fandom toxicity and the treatment of outspoken Gen Z actors. Another one says, why is Bella Ramsey the target of so much hate? The Last of Us star sparks the fury of the manosphere.
Ooh.
Another one says,
Bro,
Bella
you don't
Ramsey.
have to be a man to hate Bella Ramsey. You don't have to be a man to hate
I think
Pedro
just
Pascal.
the sphere hates her.
Just like, the.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
Bella Ramsey becomes the most hated star, all because they acted in a video game adaptation. I think it has more to do with Bella Ramsey as a person than it does the show that she's in.
I disagree. I mean, I don't see a lot of hate directed at her stupid comments on society. I see most of it being how they've interpreted The Last of Us Season 2 and all the memes around the I'm gonna be a dad scene.
That's
and
what I've seen.
Just the way the writing has been. I don't think it's as tied to that. Not in the way that Pedro Pascal is tied to his political comments and
Right.
the way he dresses and how stupid he is.
But we know if Bella Ramsey were conventionally attractive and bore even the slightest resemblance to her character in the video game, I don't think that a lot of this hate would be directed at her specifically. It would be directed at the people who wrote the show badly.
In season 1, I don't buy that. I think a lot of times people do put it off on the actors, even though they're not the ones writing the material, because they say, why would you sign up for something that's so bad? They do that all the time.
A job's a job.
And I mean, I agree with that, but other people are asking that question. That's what they say to people when they race swap a character and somebody accepts the role. They take offense to the fact that they accepted the role, not understanding that everybody wants to make a living.
I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong or right, but people don't want to watch ugly people on TV.
That is true.
And I'm sorry, but she is conventionally unattractive. People don't want to spend an hour and a half of their time watching a TV show starring someone who is visually abhorrent, okay? And I don't even mean that in like a personal jab way. It's just the truth. This is a visual medium. If you're starring in one of the biggest shows on streaming, you should be attractive. At least you should at least bear a resemblance to the character. If the character in the video game looked like Bella Ramsey, then fine. Like, we would look past it. But she doesn't.
It's not a personal jab. You're just like the most hideous.
That's all.
It's not a moral failing on her part.
This goes back to what we were talking about, though. You're talking.
She's being astroturfed by her industry. That's not her fault.
Yeah.
But it ties back to what you said. It's not like her stupid comments are one of dozens of one of millions that people in the industry make. It's tying back to how she relates to the show.
Her stupid comments aside, though, it's also the fact that she identifies as non-binary and is referred to with they, them pronouns, which the media happily goes along with. And that's annoying, and people are tired of it.
I mean, maybe this is why, like, maybe she's actually the bravest person in the world, because in season 1, like, they've got Pedro there to, like, take the fire because everybody hates him too. She's like, no, I'm here to strike out on my own. Right? I want to be the most hated person on the internet.
It's noble.
I'm sick of being in his shadow. I'm sick of being in the hate shadow of Pedro Pascal.
They could have at least soft launched it and made 2 seasons with Joel.
I know.
Make 2 seasons that adapt from the first game and then 2 seasons that adapt from the second game. But instead, they killed off Joel very promptly. I don't think they could pay for Pedro Pascal anymore. And Bella Ramsey has entered the crosshairs of the online manosphere.
The memes have been very mean to her.
It's true. But look, she doesn't do herself any favors.
No, she does not.
She's one of these female stars who sadly seems to try to go out of her way to look terrible on red carpets.
This was the original photo that they used for, granted it is from Garbage Human, so. And then immediately you go down, somebody's put, make her face a potato. And then this is my personal favorite. I'm sorry, but
that's another thing. When they added in that line in the second season where she says, I'm gonna be a dad, that is a form of retconning that incorporates Bella Ramsey's real life persona and gender queerness into the show, and it never needed to happen that way. We showed the side-by-side comparison of what Ellie's reaction was in the game versus what her reaction was in the show.
Yeah.
And it was polar opposite. And they added that line, I think, as a nod to Bella Ramsey's identity as non-binary. I do.
Oh my gosh.
Whoever did all of these photoshops is amazing.
Even we're talking about people, the actors phoning it in at the AMAs. Even the non-binaries are phoning it in. Like, she's clearly looks like a woman. If you're gonna do the non-binary thing, really get abstract. Like, this is just she's phoning it in. I don't appreciate it.
See, most of this backlash is about her physical appearance.
Yeah. Well,
it's not about the writing of the show.
I still think it ties back. No, you're right. Okay, so I was connecting it to the way she looks in the show. It's connected to the way she looks. I just don't think it's connected to the stuff she says, because the stuff she says is so generic. It's like
it doesn't help.
As rage bait, 2025 leftist political views go, it's not unique or even all that incendiary. It's
not unique for a Gen Z actor, that's for sure. We have a 20 from Brian Bledsoe. Final Reckoning was less action-oriented than its predecessors. It was more of a suspenseful, retrospective look at the franchise, particularly the first 3 films, especially the first and third.
Look, that Phelps retcon was bullshit, okay? And did he have to talk to 10,000 people before he got to the sub, and then he got to the plane? It's just him going from aircraft carrier to American sub to this to that. Like, come on. It's like they built the movie around both of the massive action set pieces, which were fantastic. The dog fight with the planes was incredible. His the underwater scene on the Sevastopol was amazing. But did he need to go to whatever her name was who ran that ship? Hannah Waddingham's character? It didn't serve a purpose in the movie at all. It was bullshit. It was like they were terrified to like get the runtime down. I liked the movie, but if I can see very, very clear places where stuff can be cut out, that means somebody isn't there doing their job, because I'm an idiot and I can see stuff in there that clearly didn't need to be there and was and the movie's pace took a big hit because of it. But you should go watch my review. I talked about it for about 20 minutes. So
you could say literally anything happened in this movie, and I would believe you.
Yeah.
You could say that he like fought a pit bull underwater in Antarctica, and I would believe.
I mean, he's literally underwater. So he is literally underwater at some point. He's coming up from the bottom of the. There's also. Well, I don't want to get. We're still in the segment here. Let's
back to The Last of Us. I think that the truth is this: after The Last of Us concludes, Bella Ramsey's career is kind of doomed.
Think so?
She's being astroturfed as like the next big young star, the next big Gen Z leading actress, I guess if you want to say the word actress about her. And I don't think it's true. I think this is going to take a big hit to her career after this. And the hate has gotten to the point where there was even a subreddit dedicated to discussing the second season of The Last of Us that got completely nuked. It just doesn't exist. It got banned off of the platform. And that's a pretty bad sign. I don't think that she can recover from this.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.